welcome back to the Coach Mack Show, this week's edition, the Ware County edition. Coach, a big game Friday night up in Ware County, up there in their version of the swamp. What do you think came out of that? We all know the score, so let's look for the positives.
Well, it was a big night for somebody. I don't think it was a big night for us. But we went up there, and I knew all along this was going to be a very difficult challenge. They were, I believe, the 4A state runner-up a year ago. Their quarterback's back. A lot of their key players are back. They have a great defensive line and defensive end who's been offered by Alabama as a junior already. Just a very good football team we went against. And I don't think we took the field in the right frame of mind. I think it got to the kids a little bit, the fact that we're in such a big stadium, big crowd, great football team. I just don't think our guys were just quite mentally prepared as they should have been, or as
maybe a little overwhelmed by the situation.
But going into the game, we were just going to try to really continue to do the things that we do on offense. Defensively, we felt like we had some really good keys against them, and coming out of it, I still believe we had some good keys against them. But just their personnel was just overwhelming. They were just so much better than we were on the field. We did hold them under 200 yards. I guess that's somewhat of a positive, but it seemed like they had such a short field. That was a big negative for us, and maybe that's why they had so few yards. Trey Harrington still completed 18 passes on 36 attempts for 137 yards, but he did have 4 interceptions. 2 of them which really were bad throws. 2 others, I think, just pretty much came off of our receivers' hands into their hands. Davron Reed and Julian Roberts really kind of came on a little bit as wide receivers. Julian Roberts, the last game and the scrimmage game, really dropped a lot of key balls, and he still had a couple drops this game, but he also came up with 5 catches for 28 yards, so we're good to see that he's getting going a little bit. And, of course, Davron Reed, once Curtis Nixon left the game from an injury, Davron Reed really received most of the attention in the passing game with 8 catches for 78 yards. One of the big negatives that concerns me the last 2 games is our penalties, and most all of them are mental mistakes or mistakes after the play's really over, just keep on going type thing. We had 9 penalties for 90 yards, which is just way too many, and that's something we're really focusing on cutting down. But one thing positive that came out of the game is I think we might have found another defensive football player in Anthony Jackson, number 44, a sophomore, big kid, about 6'3", 200 pounds. Had a really good game. We put him in there due to some situations where we had to put another guy off the field, and we put him in and just let him play just to see what happened. He ended up being our leading tackler with 8 tackles. So real proud of the job that Anthony Jackson does, and of course he earned himself a start this week.
Very good.
We mentioned we didn't come out of the game completely healthy. We did lose a couple guys. Probably the most, Scott Birchall, number 4. Scott's an outstanding possession receiver. Has a lot of catches already this year. In the first game before he went out, he had 2 catches in this game. Scott suffered a concussion, a pretty serious concussion.
Really?
He'll for sure be out this week, possibly be out for the following week against Fitzgerald at home also. I know I talked to Scott just a little while ago, and I know he's hating it, and after the game, went up to the hospital after the game, and he was just really wanting to get up and get out of there.
Back in there.
And me also. I didn't like being in there with him, but anyway, we've got to get healthy there. And then Curtis Nixon also has a pulled muscle in his leg. Something that really has been on and off since summer.
Really?
It really hasn't healed the way we wanted it to. We gave it a shot Friday night. You might have noticed he played a little bit earlier than you might have saw him come off the field and didn't go back in any capacity, defensive back or in a kicking or return game or at wide receiver. And that's we hold him out today, sent him to the advanced rehab this morning, and they showed him some stretches and some different types of things to do for his injury. But we hope to have him back possibly this week, for sure the following week. So he's kind of a question mark. Stepping in Scott's place is going to be a true freshman, Ethan Sauls, Coach Sauls' son, one of my assistant coaches. And the good thing about it is, he's a coach's kid. He knows how to prepare, he knows how to work, and he knows how to get himself ready to go.
Familiar with the system and everything.
Exactly. He's, his dad was a big-time wide receiver in college and played a little bit of pro ball himself. So he's gotten him ready to play a wide receiver for quite some time. So anyway, Ethan's going to have to start, and then like I said, so we'll actually start 2 freshmen because Mookie Smith will start on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So I feel good about this coming week. I feel like we've put the Ware County game or the Ware County experience more than anything behind us. And then once again, we had a lightning delay. Had to go in after early in the first quarter. Had to refocus, which
it was
seemed
almost
like
deja vu, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't refocus well this time. I think last time we did. This time we didn't.
Yeah, I know that was something I was thinking about this afternoon. The weather, if you count the pure scrimmage, the weather so far has played a factor in every single contest so far.
Seems like we have nice weather Monday through Thursday. Well, last week, not so much on Thursday when we went down to McClenny, Florida. But it seems like we have nice weather all week long, and then come Friday we have to deal with the rain, the lightning, and so forth. But hopefully we're going to make a change this week, and hopefully we won't have any of that.
Hopefully have some nice weather so Chris and I and the crew aren't scrambling around where we're going to put the cameras.
Exactly.
All right, Coach, we'll go to a short break, and we'll be right back.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season. Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. I had my usual tongue twister the previous segment. Coach, you want to dive into Bradwell?
Yeah, Bradwell Institute's, I believe, a 5A school. They made a coaching change, and Coach Jim Walsh is a good friend of mine. And he's been there for several years, and they made a coaching change and brought in Coach Carter, last year's defensive coordinator from Camden County. Right. Young guy, about 27 years old, 26 years old, I believe. He kind of reminds me of kind of how I got started. Kind of fell into a situation that the people said wasn't real good, and you just kind of try to make it as best as you can and get kind of build from there. And Coach Carter's going to bring along the 3-4, the 3-5 defensive look from Camden County, though the offense is going to be different than what we see from Camden. They're going to run the shotgun formation, more of a spread-type offense. They have about 2 or 3 really, really outstanding athletes in that formation. The quarterback's really outstanding, and also he wears number 3, and also there's number 7. He'll line up all over the field. He's really a kid that we got to find and keep an eye on. And regardless if he's in the backfield, he's going to probably run the ball. If he's split at wide receiver, they're going to throw him the football. So he's a guy that we really got to pay attention to. Coach Carter, we saw him and his team this summer at some passing tournaments we went to, and I can really notice a little bit of a difference, especially in the energy level of his football team. Real excited about this season. I know they are. They had a good summer in the weight room. I've talked to him, and he feels real excited about this group of kids and this opportunity he has at Bradwell. And we've had a lot of good luck against Bradwell in the past. We've had situations where we've played them at their place, lost our starting running back in the first quarter, and still managed to beat them, and feeling like they were a more athletic team all along. Had a lot of really good luck against them. Really concerned about this Bradwell team. A little bit more energy, a little bit faster, a little bit more of a spread offense than the kind of power wing tee that Coach Walsh really liked. So really concerned about these guys going up there. Those people that made the trip 2 years ago are going to see it's in the same location, but they're going to see a completely different stadium. They if you can imagine, we talked earlier about how they took the field, turned it the other way, and built completely new stands. They have a new field house. Looking at the film, you can see the visitors' sideline, the visitors' bleachers. There is more than enough. It's goal line to goal line, plenty of seats, and we hope to have a big crowd travel up to Hinesville. And like I told you earlier, we're going to give you the directions
Yeah,
to the
we'll
game.
post
You
them
can
on
put
the
them on your
Facebook page.
website, and hopefully people will get up there and support us this Friday.
Well, they traveled real good last week. There was a good crowd on our side over there at the Ware County game last week, so I'm sure they'll head on up to Bradwell and support the Indians up there as well. What you talked about number 7 for Bradwell. You had to really concentrate on him. When you get into situations like that, when there's a single player that you really want to, do you assign a man to him, or do you just
We
play
don't
like a zone?
we don't so much assign him man to him. We still got to keep our defense balanced to the formation because they do other things. He's going to be on the field every play,
Right.
but they don't give it to him every play. So we
Right.
still have to play everything else that they give us in that formation. But we do have to be aware of him. If he's lined up in a slot and Tevis Dasher is the strong safety and he comes down to has him man to man, he needs to understand what routes he runs out of the slot position, whether it's the bench route or the swing route or anything like that. He has to know the routes that he will run out of that position. Just like if he's also at the split position, we know the routes he runs there. Usually the go route or the deep post route. When he's in the backfield at quarterback, it's most of the time always a run. When he's at halfback, he runs the ball from there. But the full-time quarterback's number 3, and he is a fantastic athlete in himself. We have to really our keys to success really hasn't changed all year long. We feel like our defensive line has the ability to dominate, and we believe they must dominate. With Will Gowan especially, one of our leaders on the defensive line.
Right.
So we really need that group right there to really play really well. And then also on the offensive side of the ball, we have to really pick up our game, raise the level of our play at the wide receiver position. Trey Harrington, I think, is doing an awesome job at quarterback. He's putting the ball where it needs to be. We need to be catching him.
Yeah.
And hopefully our
Still struggling with the drops a little bit.
Exactly. We need to clean that up, and hopefully, this is going to be game 3. It's time for those things to start going away, because hopefully by game 5 that's gone and we're really clicking on offense.
We can't do the old Oakland Raider thing and put the stick 'em on the.
No, but we've spent more money than we need to on receiver gloves. Let me tell you. Yeah.
I hear you, Coach. What do you look for them out of their defense versus our offense?
Well, our offense is so unusual. You don't see anybody run our offense. So we really go back to the things that Ware County did to us, because coaches are really copycats. We're going to copy off what other people have done, especially when they're successful. Ware County was, of course, successful, but the biggest reason was because of their personnel more than their alignment. They had great defensive personnel.
Yeah, they were deep.
And we expect to still probably see a 3-man front. We still expect them to bring 1 or 2 more than we can block if they can, especially off the edge. We expect a combination. At times you'll see man, at times you'll see coverage. We have pass routes built in for really both. One side's a good man beater, while the other side's a good zone beater. And we really need Trey to identify pre-snap whether or not it's zone or pass, and he'll go to the correct side. So, again, we rely a lot on Trey to identify the coverage, but also we have built-in outlets for him to get the ball there. And we've talked a lot about that this week already. It's Monday. We really skipped a lot on the film. The film really wasn't worth watching, a lot of it. So I told the players after weightlifting today, 4th block, we just pretty much went straight over to the football field, put our costumes on, and went out and practiced and tried to get better.
Just get last Friday behind you and move
exactly.
on. Got Ware County, Bradwell Friday night, and you were talking about pre-show about a B team.
Yeah, our B team schedule. Of course, B team schedules tend to change throughout the year because people will sustain a lot of injuries, pull B team kids up, and not be able to play B team that week. But we were supposed to go down to West Nassau. I believe they switched their varsity game to a Thursday, which down around that area is not always uncommon. So we went ahead. We found another B team game. We're going over to McIntosh. Coach Murray, who's the head football coach of our B team, is not happy with that, because if there's a gnat around, it's going to find him, and especially that ball head of his. So he's concerned about that. And,
he's concerned about the gnats.
He's concerned about the gnats. So he wasn't really happy with the schedule change. But we're going to go over there, play McIntosh. McIntosh always has a lot of athletes, a lot of real tough kids. Of course, live in Darien with the sand gnats, you've got to be tough. Yeah. So those kids will be tough, and it'd be a good contest for us.
All right. The B team. Now, this past Thursday, the B team, I think you mentioned it already. The Lightning Lightning?
We went down to McClenny. Really got through pregame warm-up. Kids were excited to play, and we had Lightning, and Lightning stuck around for quite some time, and so we went ahead and just didn't play that game. And I've been talking to the head coach down there at Baker County, and we're going to try to reschedule it. It's a good situation to go down there because a lot of our St. George parents and fans get a chance to go just ride on down to McClenny, not too far away, to watch them play.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier for them to go 15 miles that way versus 30 this way. All right. I believe, directions. What directions are going to be on the website?
I'll give you that before you leave today. And then, of course, you guys are going to be doing the maidens and the Braves also at the same time. And I'll be at one.
We're going to have a split crew, and hopefully I won't do this.
I'll be running back and forth between the two, watching my daughter with the maidens and watching the Braves play also. So look forward to that. It's really we feel like we're kind of into it now. The only thing we need now is the weather to break. We need cooler weather. If we can get cooler weather, we'd be really living right now.
Cooler weather, no more rain.
Football 3 days a week here, and softball at least once or twice a week. And
there you go.
And now if we just need a little cool weather, we'd be really going.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll see you around one of the ball fields tomorrow.
Probably both of them.
Probably both. And then everybody remember to travel. Directions will be on the Facebook page and the website to Bradwell. And if you can, travel with the B team. What time's B team?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock in McIntosh.
That's right.
Darien, Georgia. All right, and that'll do it for the Coach Mack Show. We'll see y'all Friday night.